They've got the pings on the player, they've got the heavy hitting DMR in the garage position to see if it can get the swing angle. Grizzly, they're going to drop their way on the far opposite side. The kit itself is not too far away from the server swing. They're comfortable, but with 35 seconds, they've got to get more than comfortable. There's the first. Benja finds Pasha on the swing round. There's the take onto the back. Milan can't quite connect, but always does. Onto Benja, they're pushing in towards the side itself. We heard all the canisters pop, and Grizzly pops Milan too. Now with only a single player left, it is a swing round from Heroic. They take the first round.
I really like how Heroic managed to slow it down there. You said it
has an idea that somebody's trying to rotate their way underneath, but pulls away at the last possible second. Caught in the corner of the fire, but it's Mello that's able to get the first off. Grizzly dropped the hatch and gets one and saves his own life. Look at this. Heroics flooded their way back in. Suddenly it's just always versus the world. Can't quite get the full connection with the player. There's one tucked around on the opposite side as well, stuck in Kansan, but somehow Heroic pull it back with a dangerous drop on the stock hatch. But they're still held at arm's length. Grizzly is trying to get a bit of a lead in. They've got the hold over the hatches, but without anything else leading Uno in, they're a little bit stuck. There has to be a drive on the far end. Grizzly, he tries to sneak in, gets caught out. The kit once again can't make the journey. 15 seconds. Uno goes on a swing around the door. Doom is caught from behind by Always. They're trying to drive themselves through, but this time, Outsiders were able to hold them off. Uno could not make the journey into the site because Heroic couldn't make the journey anywhere else.
From that window, it is instead going to be the vertical play that might be of more danger to him.
And here it is. The pressure comes from the close window, but it's Milan that's able to drop the kit on the far end. There aren't really any players in a position to get this collected quickly. 30 seconds. Benja's by the quad wall. They've got a bit of control over the hatch, and Mello, he's ready to rotate from archives. They're going for something on the back line, and Mello's able to make a little bit of it work. Dan gets one, Always gets one right back. Benja over the bow, he cannot take a step into this fire, but Mello, he's taken a step right into the core of the Lion's Den, pulls out what isn't the gadget he hoped it was. There isn't anything you can really breach here, but they breach you. And there it is, 2-2.
Well, adapted again from Outsiders here. Managed to lead Always is quite close. As soon as the damage does start to come through, it's definitely going to be a swing coming in from the side itself. That support comes in. Mello will find Always. That opens up an opportunity. Doom now here to try and provide some support onto the elevator player, but do they know he's in there?
That's it. It's such a sort of gambit play here for Milan. He has no route out. He's hoping they go fast. It's 15 seconds. There's nobody coming directly above him. Pasha is the line on the rotate onto side. There's the first. There's almost the second. He can't quite get the full connection. The C4 caught on the door, and Mello gets the kill on the back line at the same time. Waited and watched, anticipated. And a pre-fire gives the idea there was a call there too. Heroic kill and catch onto the player itself, but here's Grizzly stepping up to see if they can try and replicate the breach and the break onto the wall itself. Doom, a slow creep round. He's won one important fight here on the back line and lost the next. There's a fire and almost it. Freebie, and suddenly it's Heroic all across the board. Doom pulls back. The Echo drone stopped the plant, but it's only the Echo left. Rusk gets one, gets swung, and it's a 4-2 half to Heroic.
I asked for a bit more pressure coming out from the backside. Did not quite have that, but Doom
was in the first round. There is one finding it.
And Benja's still playing on that Oryx near the elevator. He could be jumping up at any given moment. He feels like to go for a bit of a flank on these two here around the sides that they're looking to get the plan down on. Information will be there. They know exactly where these players are going to be located at. Milan on top of that hatch. Last two inside of the servers as it's a dig in deep from Always, trying to get that plan down. Are they aware? Grizzly, all he has to do is go for the swing. He does. Finds the kill. Time is about to be running out. 4 seconds as a full on execute comes through. A quad kill, but it is the last player hiding. Grizzly needing to find that last shot as the cover is on the wall. He does not reach it. It's the ace of Milan to lock it off and find a round on the attack, which was looking so dire before.
Unbelievable play by Milan. Realization here from the side of Outsiders who are trying to scramble for a plan A, pushing them back from the window. The drop on the grenade, will it get a catch? Dan sure does. There's the first, the second. Doesn't quite rotate its way all the way around. The man with the magic glasses, Maverick is, not even Maverick, Warden on the back end is the Maverick of the moment. Grizzly suffers the scrape. 10 seconds, they got to take a drop. Benja gets the first off the back of it. It's a rock down a blind. They're going for the kit. The kit goes cold. And time was the sufferer before. They're able to just stick it down. Uno with the rotate. Pasha cannot get the win. And Heroic lock in the end of it.
I don't know if you just saw it there, but he went for the pickup instead and was like, no, I don't want the pickup. Needed to redo it, go for the plans. Cost him a valuable couple of seconds. Go off. Should be the first indication of players being around. Openings are being made all across the map right here. Grizzly misses the opportunity to find Rask on his way out. Dan is still out here playing with that DMR, dealing a lot of damage. Grizzly goes down, but Joom will find... No, not Joom. It's Milan that will find Grizzly instead.
4 versus 4.
They should know because they just spotted him going down there.
Oh, this is the castle getting broken up. Joom's able to get a freebie out of the end of it. There's a bit of revenge from Milan. Took the swing onto his army, and Milan still leads through. Built on the Bastion. He built himself a couple of rounds ago of refusing to let this game. Not quite sitting inside the site itself. Instead, on the far side of square, rotating on the back of open, hoping he can get a catch, but the kit is being planted on the far end. He's got to try and rotate his way back round. They've got it covered. There's the first. There's almost the connection on the next, but did not know the kit had already made its way through. A 2 versus 1. Not for very long. Outsiders find their 4th.
Might have hoped there that the top of square was going to be used by one of the remaining players of Outsiders up top.
Yeah, they're just locked round on the side there. They don't know if they're holding the elevator angle or what, but it means things are awkward. If they can double time it, well, there's a take and there's a grenade. The revenge comes back against them. They lose. That pulls everything has got to be from the air, but you're looking at 15 seconds. So he's up. He's rotating around on the back end. They've got it covered by the Iana. The plant is going down, though. Always has it locked in a 3 versus 3. They've got the cover. They've got the angle. They've got the idea, and now they've got a bit of a problem on their hands, Heroic. Maybe they thought they hadn't quite been able to weasel their way in. Takes a shoulder of damage from the far end, and the heavy hitting side of Dan Uno. He's back up and fighting fit, but still 30 seconds. His army causing a little bit of problems there on the hatch itself. They're watching, waiting from above. They still have Dan playing the long angle with the hefty DMR. 2 players above, and they're going for a 2-person rotate up white stairs to see if they can try and retake open here. The ping of the beepers will give the call to everything they know. They just have to time it, and there they go! Rask with the double, Dan with the last, and Outsiders pull level 5 of 5.
Well done by Dan. This was way more in control of Outsiders. They managed
to get the catch on the player they hoped was tucked up onto the shelf itself. 40 seconds, 2 bodies are theirs, but it's still a big lock on the site. Dan, he just kept firing. Mello was stuck. Joom finds one back. Rask taken off the board. Uno doesn't quite get the C4 catch you'd hoped. They're focusing up towards square. They have the pings on the player. There's one! Can he get the second? He's going to keep on holding and hoping, but he's done just enough to try and stretch this game back in. Joom, but there's the catch from Always, and there's one back from Uno. Suddenly a 1 versus 1, but Always, he's always there when he needs to be. And now Outsiders sit on map point.
He could be going for a giant flank. Finding some good points. Is that someone inside? Okay, that's a Gemini. I was about to say, is that someone inside?
No, but this is Joom. Round on the back, wins it out. Cannot just get caught out there, and the drone even had him on the reveal. Swings around with the pistol itself. He's looking for the engagement. It's coming from multiple different angles. He's going to pull himself further and further away. Rebuilds. A little bit of support, and Grizzly on the far end is looking for the rotate. The spray round, but Always, as we said before, we can be a bit reliable, but you're looking at 30 seconds. It was very, very well played there by Joom. He has done more than enough this fight. Has he done enough this round? Tucked around on the site itself. 3 remaining players. Mello is another huge one to try and take out. They've got to see if they can try and just do some of the shepherding, push the positions out of place. Rask, he wants to knock on the door of site itself, but he's not the one with the kit. He's tucked around on the corner. Does he know about Uno's position? Do they know about either of each other? Pasha, he's trying to get the lead in. The flashes come around the corner. Doesn't quite get the full bait out. There's Mello finding the first. There's a knife and reveal on the second, and there is OT.
I was going to say, Uno missed the knife initially there, but still managed to lock it up for the MP5. Of course, a silent measure, because he took out that drone. They will be aware of his position.
That's it. But Joom, ooh, he got himself set up, and there's a reveal Always. As soon as the call came through on that player, this played out. There's the mute jammers gone. They can start the wall breach, and it's going to fall all the way across. No way to impact trick this. 20 seconds and 3 versus 3. Mello could be huge here, but Grizzly starts it off. Takes care of Always. They're being pinged consistently by that bubble, and Grizzly's going to make the most of it. Milan, all that's left, once again in a clutch situation for the end of a round. Baits the drop onto the hatch. Hope the player would swing into him. They are not revealing themselves at this point in time. They know how much it cost them before. It's not going to cost them again. Heroic once again, one step ahead, one more round, and they get the OT win.
It was at least 2 or 3 guns aiming at him there as he dropped that hatch. There was no real way he was going to be winning that. He's still alive, could be shut out from the hatch, I believe, but Dan taken out. That's a massive pick. That's a C4. Currently not in play until they do get the pickup. So they might want to be quick on this. They might want to get a grenade quickly in place. As always, swings up, finds another important kill vertically, and that is Dan to be recovered as well. Smoke and assist to go out, and this is definitely a huge time pressure point for Heroic.
Always is doing everything, as I said, to keep the team in the fight. 25 seconds and what seems like a last second rotate, because they know that there's so much utility being thrown this way. They have to pay attention towards the hatches, a vault, or the far side of the staircase, the coverage of the smoke, the C4 over the top, but nobody is currently home. The drop inside the vault, and Rask, he doesn't quite win it out, but Dan does get Grizzly. Uno cannot get the plant stuck. It's Dan striking forward. Uno, all that's left, but we are going all the way.
The 15th round will be needed until we find out who the victor will be.
Round onto the back end, 40 seconds, and another canister ripped and almost ready and raring to go. They're not holding themselves inside the corridor. They've got gold that's giving them all the call. The rotates come over the top now. Benja, he's going for gold here as Dan is able to take out the first fight. They're holding onto the angles and blinded as always, going for the plant. Rask goes down. Benja, he cannot quite get the angle itself. It's a post-plant situation, but he's still a bit of a surprise factor here over the top of the hatch. The fight over the swing onto blue, pre-fires and gets the kill. The call will come out on the player itself. A 4 versus 3. Heroic, they have the man advantage. They have it doubled now. They're still driving themselves across. Milan's looking for the fight. It's Dan on lockdown with a heavy hitting rifle. He cannot quite get the full connection. Just Milan left. Once again, in this clutch situation, the Azamis have kept him at bay from the hatch. He's got to go for the drop. He cannot make it. Heroic somehow hold on to a game that still just keeps them trailing and tackling hard, but Outsiders, unfortunately for them, cannot get another full fat win.